evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Saturday, April 1, 2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. In the headlines this evening, Judicial Service Commission to be appointed soon, says President Ali. Cybersecurity, hefty fines, jail time as government irons out privacy laws. Presidential outreach services almost 5,000 Region 3 citizens. Bartica man busted with GANJA and METH. GPF to crack down on alcohol sales at minibus car parks in Georgetown. Now for the news in detail. With calls mounting for the Judicial Service Commission to be established, President Dr. Irfan Ali on Friday said the Public Service Commission would first have to be constituted before the JSC is created. Gerald Bryan has our lead story tonight.
President Irfan Ali was at the time responding to questions posed during a press conference to wrap up a two-day cabinet outreach in Region 3 on Friday.
The composition of the Judicial Service Commission requires the Public Service Commission. We are finalizing the work. There's outstanding issues from Parliament and some other agency to have the Public Service Commission up very soon. I mean, you know, when I say very soon, you just have to look for the notice. It can be at your doorstep.
Is there a timeline?
Very soon, right? That I can promise you very, very soon. When that is appointed, we'll then be able to move to the full complement of the Judicial Service Commission. And then as soon as that is done, the Judicial Service Commission will come in effect, and then we move towards the different matters that the Judicial Service Commission has to look at.
There has been no Judicial Service Commission since 2017. Only in January, senior officials within the judiciary lamented the shortage of judges and reiterated calls for the establishment of the JSC so that new appointments can be made. The functions of the JSC include the power to make appointments, to remove and to exercise disciplinary control over persons holding or acting in the judicial offices, with the exception of the Chancellor and the Chief Justice. Another key feature within the judiciary is the appointment of a substantive Chancellor and a substantive Chief Justice.
The country is not without a Chancellor or Chief Justice. Let's make this point very clear. Guyana is not without a Chancellor or Chief Justice. We have an acting Chancellor and an acting Chief Justice. I want to make that first point. The second thing is that we are taking seriously the issue of the Chancellor and Chief Justice.
Justices Yonette Cummins-Edwards and Roxanne George, Senior Counsel, have been acting as the Chancellor and Chief Justice respectively for several years now. The Constitution requires the agreement of the Leader of the Opposition in making these appointments. Gerald Bryan, The Evening News.
As the Guyana government moves to shift to a paperless economy, efforts are currently underway to develop privacy laws that enhance the country's cybersecurity infrastructure. Find out more in this Rupasini report.
This is according to Vice President Barrett Jagdeo during a press conference on Thursday. He said a lot of work has to be done to build a national cybersecurity master plan, which will see several sectors being advanced with modern technology. In fact, works are already underway at the Ministry of Home Affairs to automate the services there. Another major initiative under this program is the $35 million project to introduce electronic identification cards, which can also be used for traveling as government moves to make the airports paperless.
We just went for the contract to do the ID card with full biometrics that would allow us to better to develop a whole range of functions and applications, from deepening financial reform to getting better government services, e-government, e-governance, based on the database that we will create there. The biometrics from the ID program will feed into the security cameras that are being put across the country. We have it was a safe country, a safe city program. We are moving a safe country program. So you're going to have cameras across the country with facial recognition.
In light of these initiatives, Vice President Jagdeo underscored the need for separate legislation to govern the use of the EID cards, and this includes the relevant privacy laws being in place to protect citizens' personal data.
We have to go to the Parliament with laws on privacy. They're being drafted now that will be giving effect so that the data will be protected, and any disclosure of private data, there will be serious penalties. Because if you unauthorizedly use the data, for example, you sitting and observing the cameras, and somebody visits a girlfriend or something like that, and you share the data out there because you can track the person, then you'd face a particular hefty fine and a jail term. You can't be utilizing the private data for that purpose.
Similarly, the privacy of citizens' medical information will be a top priority as the government seeks to implement its One Chart initiative by consolidating medical history of patients onto a shared database that can be accessed by authorized medical institutions, both private and public.
You don't want anyone to disclose that information because it's people's private information. Many countries have that. They have privacy laws. So we're working now on those being in place even before we complete the survey and start issuing the cards, or we start using in major way the biometrics for the security purposes and stuff like that. So that has to be done. Then these ID cards will be separate from the ID cards that GCOM use. We didn't want to collapse this into one ID card. Next thing you'll hear, oh, PPP want to take over GCOM function. So we said, you can do whatever you want there. But here, these ID cards would have to need a separate piece of legislation. We're working on that too.
Rupa Sinarain, The Evening News.
Rupa Sinarain joins us again to report that President Irfan Ali has led yet another successful outreach, which has seen over 4,800 cases logged to be addressed within 2 days, and hundreds of age-old matters finding resolution in Region 3. Let's have a look.
As the Office of the President Direct Outreach at Lenora, West Coast, Demerara was wrapping up on Friday, President Dr. Irfan Ali said during a press conference that his government is committed towards having a transparent, accountable governance system. In this light, an electronic app has been developed to track activities in different regions to monitor performance. At that time, it showed almost 5,000 files were logged and in the process of completion.
We have developed an electronic app to track exactly what we are doing in different regions, to measure performance, and also to ensure that even when we leave here, the work continue in resolving people's problem. That is 4,838 persons would have been serviced over the last 2 days here. I think the technical staff definitely deserve a resounding round of applause. Out of that, you would see, and this is the efficiency that we talk about, the type of transparent, open, accountable government that we are running. You will see that out of the total 1,770 cases has already been solved. That is 1,770 persons who have already had their issues resolved.
Issues relating to housing, the National Insurance Scheme, agriculture, education, and business were sorted during the exercise. Dr. Ali said this initiative allows insight on the priority areas in communities and where budgetary allocations can be improved. Meanwhile, from engagements, there were investment proposals and business interest surfacing in areas such as aquaculture, hydroponics, manufacturing, small hotels, apartments, and real estate. It was also announced that an internationally branded plantain chip factory will be constructed in the region.
Very soon, we'll be opening an internationally branded plantain chip factory here in this region that will be adding value to plantains that is being produced here, and the region is a major producer of plantains. So there are a lot of proposals that came to us that we were able to pass to the Go Invest. The Minister of Finance is following up on a lot of this. So I would say not uniqueness, but a lot of pleasant excitement about where the region is going and where the country is going, a lot of optimism, a lot of confidence, and I would say it's a high energy environment.
A total of 14 tractors were handed over as part of a commitment to support the neighborhood democratic councils in Region 3. Rupa Sinarayan, The Evening News.
Coming up on the other side of the break, Bartica man busted with GANJA and METH. Please stay tuned.
Thousands of persons in hinterland communities are now receiving 24-hour access to treated water for the first time. They are enjoying the benefits of new wells and water supply systems in their communities. Having better quality water for everyday use translates to an improved quality of life. It is projects like these that Ghana's oil revenues are supporting, with over $120 billion withdrawn from the Natural Resource Fund to improve the lives of Guyanese.
Are you a sports fan? Place your sport betting bets today for your chance to win up to $15 million per coupon. Visit any agent near you or www.superbet.gy and place your bets. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly. Superbet, your best bet.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. Police ranks in Region 7 on Friday evening arrested a male vendor after he was found in possession of suspected marijuana and methamphetamine, also called crystal meth. The incident occurred at sometime between 20 hours and 21:30 hours in the township of Bartica, Region 7. According to police reports, the ranks conducted random searches around Bartica, during which several persons were stopped and searched. One of those persons was Lyndon Benjamin, a 35-year-old vendor of 2nd Avenue, Bartica, who had a black haversack on his shoulder. During a search of the haversack, the ranks discovered 16 transparent Ziploc bags containing cannabis and another 25 Ziploc bag packs of methamphetamine. Benjamin was arrested and escorted to the Bartica police station along with the narcotics, which were weighed and amounted to 26 grams of cannabis and 8 grams of meth. The suspect was arrested and remains in custody pending charges. The Guyana Police Force will be taking a strong stance against the sale of alcohol at the minibus and car parks in Georgetown. This is in light of the spate of incidents that continue to plague the country's roadways. Lawanda McAllister joins us with more.
One of the main contributing factors to the high rate of accidents on Guyana roadways is drunk driving. In response, local authorities will be rolling out a number of measures to clamp down on this practice. As a result, the Guyana Police Force, in collaboration with the National Road Safety Council, will be conducting spot checks at various locations across the country to clamp down on businesses selling alcohol without a license and to detect drivers who are under the influence. At the Guyana Road Safety Council Forum 2023 on Friday, Minister of Home Affairs Robertson Ben announced that special emphasis will be placed on the bus and car parks in Georgetown.
We know what the behaviors are: drinking and driving. Associated things at Stabrook and those places, people are drinking Heineken or whatever they drink. Some perhaps are smoking and then jumping in the bus and driving. We have those things. We have people undercutting and inserting themselves into the line of traffic and congesting and confusing and making it more difficult for the traffic management. And many of People, even though we gave out helmets and we put the message out there, and we seized motorbikes, we gave out free helmets for some of them, they drive past, blithely ignoring the police.
The police's efforts are focused on eliminating the dangerous practice of selling alcohol on minibus parks and ensuring that those responsible for causing harm on the roadways are held accountable. Heavy fines and possible jail time are among the consequences for those found to be in violation of the law.
This situation cannot continue if we want to achieve less than 100 road deaths for this year again, to make it the third year running, or even if we want to dream or think that we will achieve the 50 deaths which we irrationally perhaps thought that we should put out there as some good position to aim at, to have a good movement in respect of these difficult issues.
The crackdown on the sale of alcohol on minibus parks also reflects the government's commitment to public safety and the protection of its citizens. Reporting for the Evening News, LaWanda McAllister.
The Food and Agriculture Organization and World Wildlife Fund on Friday donated several training and production manuals, as well as safety equipment to the Agriculture Ministry to support the development of the country's aquaculture industry. Details in this report.
The Guyana Marine Industry Management Plan 2022 to 2027 addresses matters like illegal, unreported and unregulated fishing, climate change, and gender inclusion within the fisheries sector. It offers a number of objectives and actions that can be taken to ensure good management and sustainability.
I say sustainability not only in terms of fish stocks, but also sustainability in terms of income for fisher folks and their families, but also sustainability in terms of the economy and contributing to the economy of Guyana. And this is very key, and really the motivation of our participation and supporting the development of this plan.
The CBOB Management Plan 2022 to 2027 and the Brackish Water Shrimp Production Manual will complement the work that the Agriculture Ministry has been doing over the past year to improve the Fisheries Department.
We're hoping that this manual will help to increase and accelerate the implementation that is being seen on the ground, particularly with the East Berbice Quarantine Aquaculture Co-op, who are very instrumental in the work that's being done here, and as Chief mentioned, to extend it beyond just these areas.
I think that the fishing sector, the future is bright. We have to continue to support this sector. The government has been investing heavily. Last year alone, we expended close to about $500 million in the fishing industry, especially in the brackish water shrimp industry. And we are looking now to start the production of fresh prawns. We are already started the construction of these ponds.
Meanwhile, the organizations also handed out safety equipment to several artisanal fisher folk to aid them in their work.
I've been in the fishing industry for about some 53 years, and I'm happy to hear the progress that's been made here today for fishermen, and we're happy that we can be a part of it, and we are willingly want the support from the ministry, and we are going to work along with it, and we want to better the industry.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Damarara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Sunday, April 2nd, 2023 at 3 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 14 hours 5 on Sunday, April 2nd, 2023, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
And now the local stock exchange market compliments of GASI. Guyana Harpy Eagles clinch West Indies championships. This and more coming up in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp.
Looking to bring your dream home to reality? Or simply taking on a home improvement project? Then National Hardware Limited is where you should start. Let us put that touch to your home. Choose from over 1,000 Berger Paint original hues for any surface. We are known for our trusted brands such as Westinghouse, Philips, Sadco, Rubbermaid, Pyrex, Gibson Home, and so much more. National Hardware Limited, your do-it-best store. Located in downtown Georgetown and industrial site Rhymeville.
Credit! Yeah, ready? We are so far. Look along, me tell you, buy one generator. Now the picnic online test and blackout come and cut off everything. Sorry, son. Radhika, Abby go tomorrow. Abby go now.
At Sylvie's, we stock products from more than 22 different sectors in mining, construction, food processing, vulcanizing, home improvements, and more.
Are you getting generator?
So this is a 3,000 better size generator. This will work your lights, your fan, your TV, and your fridge.
Well, Abby can buy one for Abby and Abby can buy one for Mommy